Good evening. My name is Michael Dare, and I'm going to give you a short demonstration of setting up the IV syringe pump. Nothing fancy. In fact, this very first video is being made for Dr. Myrna Pierce, and it's something I've been thinking of doing, so this will probably just be the first rough for Myrna's viewing only, and then we'll tweak it from there. So I've collected everything that you need to go ahead and use the syringe pump. I'm just going to double check that the battery is okay on this right now. So the pump itself is a Baxter AS50, and I'm just letting it boot up. So after invalid date, it goes through a couple of self-check screens. The first thing it says is select mode, so you use the up and down arrow here. So I'll highlight it here and hopefully you can see it. So I'm using the up and down arrow, and I'm going to select one down arrow until it says single dose, and then I'm going to hit the confirm button at the bottom, and now it's saying select manufacturer. That's the manufacturer of the actual syringe. So here we're using a BD 20 ml syringe, so I'm going to use the up and down arrows, and the very first down arrow takes me to the BD brand, and I again hit confirm. Select size. It's a 20 ml or 20 cc syringe, so I scroll through until I hit BD 20 ml and I hit confirm. Enter dosage. This means how much dosage is going to be given in a single press of the start button. So in this case, we're going to select 1 ml. So just 1, confirm, and now it says 1 ml. Enter duration, and the duration will be over 1 minute. So what we've done so far is we've selected single dose as the type of use for the pump. We've selected BD for the manufacturer, and we've selected 1 ml, and if you use your concentration of a milligram per mil, that will equal then 1 milligram delivered over 1 minute. And I hit confirm. So now it's ready to go. There it is, infuse 1 milligram over 1 minute. So all I have to do is hit start, and it would start that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll load the syringe. So of course you'd have your drawn up syringe. So I'll open the BD 20 ml syringe. I'm using a GoPro camera, ultra wide angle, so hopefully you can make things out okay. For the gang there at On Track Dental. So 120 cc syringe. Now the main tubing that's going to feed off of that syringe are the micro bore extension sets, and you can put more than one together. The interesting thing on these is it does tell you this is a 0.3 mil 60-inch line. So the 0.3 mil means that it'll take 0.3 mils of actual IV fluid to fill the line. And we're going to fill that IV fluid, we're going to fill that line initially with the actual midazolam dosing. So if this tubing takes 0.3 mils, that actually means that when I dilute my 10 milligrams of midazolam to 10 mils, I'm actually going to dilute it approximately a half a mil further. Okay, so I'm going to actually be drawing up roughly 10.3 to 10.4 mils diluting my 10 milligrams. So it won't be exactly 1 milligram per mil, but that will allow us to flush the actual tubing itself. Oops, let's get the right end. So after I've drawn up my med and I have 10.3 mils, I screw on the microbore tubing to the end, and then I would be flushing it. So I would flush it all the way until I have IV fluid right here at the end. All right, and that's what's going to tee into our main IV line. The next step is I have to load it into the pump. So the plunger mechanism that pushes on the plunger, if I pull all the way up and pull out, that allows that. And then to lock the syringe itself in, on the back of the machine is a lever, and if I again press in on the lever, it pops up all the way. So now the way that I load the syringe in is at the base here we have this flange. The flange is going to go into the slot between the gray area and the black. And I like to rotate, oops, sorry, wrong way around. I like to rotate so that I can see the numbers. So the flange is going to go in the black slot, numbers rotated so I can see it. And now I'm going to press down until that locks. My next step is to grab the plunger mechanism and slide it forward until it lands and lines up and locks into the end of the plunger. So that's this step ready to go. Okay, so we have our syringe drawn up to 10.3 mils. We flush 0.3 mils, which is the amount it takes to flush the 60-inch tubing. And again, you can put two of these together, but then of course you'd have to double the flush to 0.6 mils. And then I loaded it into the syringe, first lining up the flange into the black slot between the black piece and the main color of the pump, rotating it so I could see the numbers, pressing down to lock the barrel, to lock the main syringe itself, and then moving the barrel mechanism in to actually work the plunger, the plunger mechanism. And so that's where I'd be at with this. The next step is you're going to take whatever your drop set is, a 10 or 15 drop set, so this is the standard ones that we often supply, and you're going to flush your regular IV bag. So I'm going to do the standard setting up of an IV bag, whatever size you like. I'll put it on the IV pole here. My dog Milo has come into the office. This is my home office. And I'm going to maintain sterility. So I'm going to spike the bag, just like you always do during clinical. So roll down my roller clamp and lock it off. I'm going to spike the bag, keeping both ends sterile. And just before I start flushing though, I'm going to attach the other components. So there's two more things we're going to use, and those were sent to you, Myrna. And there is some variations of this if you use the Nexiva IV catheters, but I think you're going to be using the regular ones. So I'm just going to hit this so that it stops the alarm. It just says it's in standby and it's waiting to be put into use. So the next thing I'm going to use is the three-way stopcock that you have a box of. So I'm going to open the three-way stopcock and I'm going to attach it to the end of the IV line, to the administration set line. So that's our next step right here. Okay, voila. The last piece that goes in is just called the CareFusion extension set. CareFusion extension set. And that I'm going to attach onto the end of the three-way stopcock so that it's in continuous line with the administration set IV tubing. All right, so we take this off, we take our two connectors off, so we're going to